Hey, let's catch up with some Spurs news and notes. Put rookie Harrison Ingram in the spotlight, then ask, are there just too many Spurs murals now?
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to Locked On Spurs on Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs beat writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Glad to have you all back. Hope everybody had a great weekend. We'll get you started for your work week right here on Locked On Spurs. You guys make the wise choice every time. Keeping it locked right here at Locked On Spurs. Subscribe wherever you get your favorite podcast. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. What else you got? Oh, YouTube, obviously. Just so many platforms. Pick one. You'll find myself, Locked On Spurs, and the rest of the Locked On Podcast Network there for you. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily this summer. That's right. FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus. There's something for everyone, every day, all summer long. You want to visit FanDuel.com to get started. What are we talking about today? We're going to catch up some brief Spurs news and notes, and then put a rookie Harrison Ingram in the spotlight. Look, a lot of attention has been given to Steph Castle. I get that. But Spurs also got the rookie as well, Ingram. We're going to see what we've been liking out of him from Summer League play. And then ask, is there just too many murals in San Antonio? At least Spurs murals. There's just way too many. We're going to be discussing that with Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. That's next. Heads up, we recorded this during that cyber crash, CrowdStrike issue. So unfortunately, we can only have done an audio thing, but it's there for you. That's coming up next right here on Locked On Spurs. So what is going on in the Spurs world as far as news is concerned? A little bit, a lot of good stuff here. First off, Austin Spurs news, Spurs G League affiliate. They joined forces with the Central Texas Food Bank, and they provided over 7,000 meals to the local Austin community. They said, quote, we're making a meaningful impact one meal at a time. And I'll say some Austin Spurs staffer, players met up with them and presented them the check. So kudos on the Austin Spurs for doing what they can to help the community. Are you surprised? Spurs helping out the community? I'm not. Hey, Malachi Branham took time out of his offseason to meet up with some youth campers and was pretty much a guest speaker, guest coach with a bunch of these campers. Again, Spurs are just all about those basketball camps in the summer for the young athletes in San Antonio and outside. Even former Spur George Hill camp in San Antonio in the community. Danny Green had a camp in San Antonio and then in the community, even in Corpus Christi. Keldon Johnson, he put on a free basketball clinic for kids in San Antonio and then in his hometown out in Virginia. The Spurs are all about making sure the youth stay active, learn some skills on the court, and spread a message of positivity. In other Spurs news, and I can't believe we haven't talked about this, congratulations to former Spurs assistant coach Hank Egan. Big applause for him. He earned the 2024 Tex Winter Assistant Coach Lifetime Impact Award. Popovich called him a class act. He said anything that he knows, he got it from Hank Egan. Don't forget, Hank Egan was big time joining the Spurs during their golden era with Tim Duncan and whatnot. During his 40-plus seasons as a coach, he taught, he inspired, he supported so many of the from Popovich to other coaches in the even outside of San Antonio. So, congratulations to Coach Hank Egan. The 2024 Tex Winter Achievement, Assistant Coach Lifetime Achievement Award. Well deserved. In other Spurs news, the Spurs Give and Play SA, they met up and they came together, joined forces with the SA Parks and Recreation and the San Antonio Park Foundation and made some renovations to the Kingsborough Park pool in San Antonio. There's even a mural there. Good thing we're talking about that. There's a mural of the Coyote and under the San Antonio Sun. It's a very large mural. There's pictures of it if you look online. So again, the Spurs usually renovate basketball courts in the community. This is one of the first time I see them helping renovate a pool, especially in San Antonio. Just it gets hot. And that's a good way for families, kids, anybody just to go and cool off in the hot summer days. And there you have it. Some quick Spurs news and notes. When we get back, we're going to be joined by Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. We're going to be putting, Harrison Ingram in the spotlight, then ask There's just way too many San Antonio Spurs player murals. That's coming up next right here on Locked On Spurs. First, I want to talk to you about FanDuel. Look, you love sports. I love sports. You never want them to end, right? Well, with the doldrums of the NBA offseason right around the corner, you get fewer games. Luckily, you have FanDuel. FanDuel lets you keep the sports going whenever you want. All you got to do is open the app, dream up bets at any time, and you're back enjoying the sports action. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a booster or bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. They got spreads you can bet on, parlays. Seriously, think of something. FanDuel has that for you. So you want to go over there to FanDuel.com right now. Start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball.
A Jedi uses the Force. To subscribe to Locked On Spurs, pass on what you have learned.
And we're now joined by Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. Make sure to subscribe to Sweep the League on YouTube. You guys, man, I swear, it's like every day I go to Sweep, Rudy, it's like more subscribers and more subscribers. You must be doing something right, Rudy.
Yeah, we just the promotion, the marketing part, but we're growing. I can't even say by leaps and bounds. It's like wildfire right now. But yeah, we just have fun and we do a lot of giveaways, man. So that's kind of the good thing about it. But I mean, it's great. It's great to have a lot of people subscribing. Just continue to keep subscribing to the YouTube channel.
Absolutely. Now, Rudy will brag about that later on this show. Unfortunately, we could not do video. This is recorded during the recent CrowdStrike outage. So we have to just make do. But hey, going back to the old days of Locked On Spurs, when it was audio only. True fact, Rudy, Locked On Spurs was the last show on the entire Locked On network. Even MLB, NFL, NHL, that went video. That was the last one.
Wow.
I've never been a fan. I'm not a fan of video. I'm not a fan. Never been a fan of it.
I never have either, but it does make sense, I guess, for times now. But hey, at least we're able to survive. We know how to survive. Put it that way.
Exactly. All right. So what is why is Rudy here? Well, we're gonna be putting Harrison Ingram in the spotlight. A lot of attention is given to Stephon Castle, rightfully so. I get it, number 4 pick. But what have we seen from Ingram so far through summer league play? Quick note, though, this is recorded before last Friday's game, so there is that missing sample there. But we have a little bit of a sample size. Of course, the eye test, we're going to be discussing what do we like out of the kid, what don't we like. And then we're going to be asking the question, murals gone wild. Should there be a standard in San Antonio for Spurs murals? We're going to be discussing that and more. One thing's for sure, though, Rudy, we got to get you a mural soon in San Antonio.
I hope one day to at least make it on some kind of wall. I mean, maybe not a mugshot, just an actual wall in San Antonio.
Well, would it help if I just get a crayon and draw on my apartment wall and just put your picture of you?
The way it's going, Jeff, I would definitely love to see that. It would be next to all your wall art that you have already.
I know, exactly. Hey, that gives me an idea. Well, I'll marinate on that for a while. All right, Rudy. Let's go ahead and dive into this. So Harrison Ingram, obviously not getting the spotlight. Stephon Castle, we get it. But with Castle out is allowing Ingram to show what he can do. Now, he does lead the summer Spurs right now in minutes per game, about 30 a game, so about 29.8. So you're thinking, okay, he's getting a bulk of minutes there. What is he showing? Well, kind of quiet, not really star-studded highlights, not a jaw-dropping stat lines, but just with the overall brush, he's third on the summer Spurs in rebound. He's at 5.3. We mentioned the minutes. Also in steals, he is fourth or tied for third, I should say, with 1.3. Doesn't even crack the top 5 in scoring. But when you look at Ingram, what are you seeing out of him in limited play in summer league? Is there anything you like, anything you don't like?
What I do like is I like the hustle by Harrison Ingram. It kind of reminds me, and I think I've talked about it on Sweep and maybe another show, was the fact that where the Spurs lose Dominic Barlow, that's where Harrison Ingram comes in. I see him as that type of player, just kind of come in, get a few minutes, spell a few minutes, but mainly a G League player, and maybe we'll just get the call up from here and there, time from time. Getting the 2-3 minutes at the end of a game. That's kind of where I see Harrison Ingram right now. I do like the fact that he hustles. I do like the fact that He can both defend, he can score, but he just needs a lot of polishing right now. He needs to
Hmm.
cook a lot more in the G League. But overall, I mean, what really can we ask for at a second round pick? I mean, he's having a better offseason than Bronny, I think, right?
Yeah, I think I'm having a better offseason than Bronny right now. When I just go down to division or the head of the park in the south side of San Antonio. But I look at Ingram, you're right. The hustle stands out the most. He does a little bit of everything. We mentioned the steals, and that's good. 1.3 a game in summer league play. Hopefully that'll get better. Uh, Rebounding, I'm a little disappointed. 5.3 a game,
Mhm.
which is, I guess it's not terrible, but I'd like to see that increase more. And as far as points per game, he's only averaging about 9. I'm sorry, excuse me. Yeah, about 9, 8.7 points per game, but in
Mhm.
29.8 minutes. Right off the bat, I'm going to get rid of the negative stuff first. It doesn't shoot the ball well. He's shooting about
Yeah.
31% so far in the summer league play. He's attempting about 10 shots a game, and he's only making 3. And you want to look at the 3 line, he's attempting 5, only making 2, which I guess is not horrific. He's about 38%. But this is an NBA where shooting is needed, and especially on the Spurs stretching the floor. It looks
Mhm.
like that needs some beefing up there. Rudy, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean the improvement for Harrison is going to have to be all around. I mean, where you see this little positives and kind of goes back to for every one positive you see out of Harrison, there's probably 4 to 5 negatives that you can easily point out in his game. So definitely needs to improve the shooting 100%. He definitely needs to be a lot more active on the boards. His steal, I actually kind of like where his defense and his steals are right now. I'm not too concerned about that. It's mainly the offensive side of the ball, and that's somewhere where that's why I feel he's going to have to be in the G League a lot longer. He's going to have to improve on his offense. Do I see him being a staple on the San Antonio Spurs roster anytime soon? For me, it's probably a definite no on that. Again, just kind of a guy who's going to be back and forth majority of the time, but primarily a G League guy. But yeah, I mean, the offense has to improve. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
even consider the Chinese game that he played against China, where he had 16 points, 10 rebounds, a double double.
yeah.
I really don't consider that as any type of measurement because the team from China is not pretty much the NBA standard. So
Sure.
I threw that game out. But for everything else, yeah, he's got to improve everywhere around.
Yeah, and again, I'm not trying to bag on the kid. I know that's what the summer league and the G League is there for. But again, in 3 games so far, he's played in the summer league, 2.3 turnovers, 2.3
Yeah,
turnovers. So you look at that assist percentage. His assist are not even one. He's at 1.3. So turnovers got to be an issue there too. I mean, it's not horrific, 2 turnovers a game, fine, but you want to clean that up. Now, the good news is that I like that he plays a clean game. He only averages about a foul a game so far, and I get it. It's summer league. Rudy and I, we understand, but
yeah,
about 1 foul a game, so he plays smart, and I like that about him. You mentioned the kind of do it all. Yeah, you sprinkle a little bit of everything. The steals 1.3, playing clean, one foul per game, rebounding 5.3. You're looking at production is for 9 points a game, 8.7.
yeah.
He, yeah, he is going to be Austin bound. But do you think the Spurs will give him the last 2-way deal that they have?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. If you're talking about right now, this very moment for Harrison Ingram, I'm gonna say probably not. He probably isn't gonna get a 2-way deal. You've seen a lot better performances from some of the guys in the summer league, so I think he's gonna be odd man out when it comes to that last 2-way contract. Yeah, I know he was drafted a second round, but I mean, just because you're drafted doesn't necessarily mean you're guaranteed anything in the NBA. But I really feel right now we're not going to see a 2-way deal for Harrison Ingram. He's going to have to prove a lot more and improve a lot more in order for him to get considered for that 2-way deal.
Yeah, yeah. I think they will give it to him. I don't see anybody else. The only closest competition is maybe Bouye, but
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Bouye's a guard, and right now they have a log jam at guard. I mean, it's just clogged. Um, unless
But
they want him to
potential
bring
trades
insurance.
coming up. Potential trades coming up. If there's some guards that are involved in a trade, that's where Bouye kind of fits the bill.
Hmm. Yeah, he does. Yeah, Bouye would fit the bill. You're looking at Ingram though. look, he was a second rounder. Second rounders you normally take time to cook. And that's exactly what Ingram is going to be doing in Austin. You look at his defensive rating here. It's actually good for 6 on the Summer Spurs roster here, 98.5. So he does
Mhm.
he does have a little bit of a defensive rating impact for this team, but I think he's going to be okay. I think he said it on media day. Well, not media day, but when they get drafted, afterwards the conference, that he's okay going to the Austin Spurs. He's going to have no choice. He's going to have to go. But you brought up a good comp recently. You compare his ceiling as Malik Rose. You're still with that?
Oh yeah, I mean, just because you see him struggling in the summer league, and there's not a whole lot of positives to see, I really do see a player like Malik Rose and Harrison Ingram. The coaching staff's going to get him ready, and that's where I like Ingram a whole lot. Is if he can improve, where he doesn't have to be a scorer, just has to be that junkyard dog type of player like Malik Rose was. Grab those 5-6 rebounds, maybe get those 5-6 points. You may have a game where you see him bust out for 12, 13, and maybe like 7, 8 boards. But if we remember, Malik just kind of came in, was an energy type of guy. He was able to spell, Tim Duncan and a few of these other guys for a little bit. That's where I see Harrison Ingram ceiling at, kind of that Malik Rose type player without the Malik's Philly famous food truck, of course. But other than that,
Yeah.
I do see his ceiling to be up there with Malik Rose right now.
Yeah, and again, looking at the positives in it, you're not want to try to harp on all the negatives. We mentioned the steals. I mean, that definitely is a bright spot right now for him out in the summer league. As a matter of fact, he leads the summer Spurs again after 3 games that he's played in assist to turnover ratio at 2.7. So pretty good. That's even above Bouye, even Castle. So there's that. I look at Ingram, and I don't. I think we will see him get NBA minutes, whether that's rest for Harrison Barnes, whether that's just if hopefully Vassell stays healthy. But if he doesn't, that's a good plug and play guy. I think he's going to do the dirty work, and you're right. He's going to be that do it all dirty work guy on the court that's going to help be the difference between wins and losses for the Spurs. Again, if he does get burned with San Antonio, Rudy, I'm not going to be surprised if he just is pretty much staple to the Austin bench versus the Spurs bench, right?
Yeah, that's not a big surprise there. In fact, I would pretty much bet that he's going to be on the Austin Spurs roster for the entire year. Like I said, maybe get that call up 1 or 2 times to the Spurs roster,
Yeah.
depending if there's injury or something. But the one guy you got to keep your eye on too right now, who had a pretty good debut recently for that two-way deal, and you mentioned shooting, was Riley Minix. So that's why I kind of
Mhm.
put Harrison Ingram a little bit behind on that two-way deal, because there's other players out there that kind of fit the bill that the Spurs are looking for on the summer league roster. But again, it's Harrison Ingram. He's doing a lot of dirty work. He does bring something to the table, and he does make sense at his height and where he's going to play on the court. So it's kind of back and forth on what the Spurs are going to do with Harrison Ingram.
Yeah. And look, I was able to, you know, see the kid up close and personal, when they were introduced to the Spurs media. He speaks well. I think he is a Spur, very eloquent. He's very smart, plays chess. He told me that his dad was the one who taught him how to play chess. But
Mm-hmm.
he definitely is going to need time to cook. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but the Spurs roster is actually pretty deep too. Uh,
Yeah.
and again, he's a victim of numbers, barring injuries, knock on wood. But Rudy, was this a good pick for the Spurs ultimately?
Oh yeah, at the position that they drafted him in the second round and the selection that
Hmm.
they have for him, that was perfect right there. I mean, you're getting a guy who comes off of a major Division I school at North Carolina, and was getting some pretty good minutes, some good run at North Carolina. I mean, he's a real difference maker. But just like everybody in this draft, like 99% of the kids in this draft, it's all projects right now. They're all project type picks. They're going to have to put the work in. There's no real, basic talented guys who are going to come in and dominate. And that's where Ingram falls in. He falls in with a lot of these first round picks in this past draft, where he's going to have to prove himself. He's going to have to work hard. He's going to have to make leaps and bounds to get those NBA minutes. where they got him, I think is a really good value for Harrison Ingram. If he went back to North Carolina, the chances are he would have probably ended up being not a number one, but I mean a first round pick, late first round. So I mean, again, it's a good value for them in the second round. I love what he can bring to the table. You just got to see the improvement in the offseason. Maybe you'll see him get run in preseason with the Spurs.
Yeah. And let's just be very clear. These numbers that we're getting them from, there are 3 games played in Las Vegas Summer League, not
Yeah.
the California Classic. But if we look at the California Classic games, he actually played a lot better. He averaged about 10 points a game and shot the ball 41% from the field and about 36% from the 3 line. And again, fouls, he wasn't even averaging a foul a game. He was at 0.6 fouls. So I think he plays smart, and that's a reflection of that. But if you put it all together for the California Classic and the Vegas, he's averaging about 9.3 points per game and shooting, again, that's his biggest knock right now collectively, 36% shooting from the field and 37% from the 3 line. But, a work in progress. I think he's aware of it. The Spurs are aware of it. But that's what the Austin Spurs are there for. And we'll see. Hopefully he will force the Spurs to rethink what they do with him if he just busts up the G League. Because we've seen players like Keldon Johnson just destroying the G League. Sidi Sissoko last season, was just destroying it. Charles Bassey, nobody could stop him. Hopefully that'll happen for Harrison Ingram. All right, he is Rudy Campos. I am Jeff Garcia. And when we get back, we're going to be asking a big question. Something that's been on the mind of myself, and I don't know if Rudy's been thinking about this, but I know Spurs fans have been thinking about this. Are murals gone wild in San Antonio? Does everybody have to have a mural that's ever worn the silver and black? What should be the standard? That's next right here on Locked On Spurs. First, I want to talk to you about eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience. That's the winning formula and is what keeps your ride or die alive and in that championship form. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. You need superchargers? They got it. LED headlights? They got that. Roof racks? Yep. Exhaust kits? They got that as well. And so much more. Whether you're to speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you are looking for. And with the eBay Guarantee Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, you're not burning cash. All the parts you need and the prices that you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die live at ebaymotors.com. That's ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to U.S. customers.
Hey, this is Hot Rod.
And I'm RC from Cybertron Springs.
And you're listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
And we're back right here on Locked On Spurs with Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. Follow him on X at Sweep the League. I'm putting the finishing touches on his mural right now as we speak. How about that?
I can't wait to see it.
It's basically just a stick figure. It's all it is. Because you're losing weight, so I figured, okay, that's a representative of him.
That's more than I have right now on a mural, so I'll take it.
It's like Hangman, that stick figure in Hangman. That's what it looks like right now. That's the extent of my artistic abilities. But we are talking all things silver and black. And again, apologies for audio only. We're victims of the recent CrowdStrike outage. So, Rudy, there's a lot of murals in San Antonio. If you've never been to San Antonio, there's plenty of murals. Now, I'm not just saying Spurs. There's just murals everywhere. Whether it be of San Antonio, the Spurs players, Selena. I mean, seriously, they're everywhere right now. But recently, Chris Paul got his mural in San Antonio, and a lot of Spurs fans were like, "Yay!" But there was also a reaction of, "Already for a 1-year guy who's probably going to be gone." At that, we've seen Don Barlow get one. We've seen Wesley get one. And again, we're not knocking those players. I'm glad they got that. They're getting a warm welcome to San Antonio. But should there be a standard in San Antonio with these murals? Because this is like Rudy, you could just put on a Spurs jersey and sit near the bench. Give him a mural. That's it. Give Rudy Campos a mural. Are murals gone wild in San Antonio when it comes to the silver and black?
Man, I'm gonna say yes, but I'm gonna say no. I have no problem with anybody getting a mural in San Antonio. I mean, think about it. It's a warm welcoming. I mean, it's a San Antonio tradition. Like you said, there's murals everywhere downtown. In certain parts of town, west side, east side, everywhere. You see murals, and you see them from David Robinson, like you mentioned, Dominic Barlow. I mean, I don't mind if they go up. They're not tattoos. They're not on there forever. You can always take them down and change them up however you want to do. So they're not there in shrine forever. But I have no issues with anybody getting a mural, whether it's Chris Paul or, we've already seen stuff already happen before in past few years, Jeff, where Boogie Cousins got a whole big old billboard sign for him over in Round Rock, I believe is what it was. And I know, and he wasn't even ever a part of the Spurs, but just rumored to be a Spurs player that wanted to be a Spur. So I don't have any issues with it. I do feel like it's kind of going crazy in a way, in the sense that if anybody's mentioned to be a Spur, they want to throw a mural up somewhere. That's kind of crazy to me. It's like, okay, let's get the season started. Let's get them going first. But in the end, getting a mural and has it gone crazy? I don't think so. It's just showing respect. It's showing love. San Antonio's a close-knit town. Everybody's tied to the San Antonio Spurs. They want to show love to the Spurs. I don't have a problem with it. The only problem I do have is there's no Jeff Garcia mural anywhere. That's the problem I have.
I knew you were going to say that. I'm gonna take the devil's advocate here. I think there should be a standard. I think
Mhm.
Timmy, obviously, David, yes, Pop, yes, Coyote, yes, Manu, yes. We know. Basically, I feel like if your jersey's not hanging in the Frost Bank Center, then you should not have a mural. Now,
Mhm.
do we lower the standards a bit because that's retired jersey? Okay, fine. So let's lower the standards somewhat. I think you have to at least average 15 points or more a game if you're a Spur before you get your mural. How about
What
that?
about Avery Johnson?
Now, bring it down just 10 points. How about just 10 points?
We can do that. I think you can have a standard. There's no problem with having a standard. I just think you and I know the culture in San Antonio. It's about respect. It's about love, and that's all it is. They're showing respect to people, to players that are coming in, and I don't mind. It's so much culture, that it's fine with me. But I get what you're saying.
I think it's just a little bit too much. No, I get why they're popping up, especially businesses. I understand that because they're gonna want eyes on their business. Hey, look, we're Rudy's Campos's hamburger stand, and I put up a mural. Come check it out over here at
Yeah.
location. I get why they're going up, and these businesses pay for them to go up. They'll pay these artists if they paint Wemby. Yeah, Wemby's everywhere right now. If you're not a San Antonio, there's murals of Wemby everywhere. You can't miss it. Fine, I understand that one. I just feel like, man, I mean, might as well just have it part of your contract when you come to San Antonio. Go and like page 5, section 2, mural will be added once you are officially a Spur. And there's other Spurs that I'm actually surprised have not gotten a mural. I have not seen a Sean Elliott mural. I have not seen an Avery Johnson mural. Unless you've seen them, I haven't seen anything, Rudy.
I haven't seen one either. I mean, it's been mainly the Spurs, the obvious ones, and then the ones that are kind of coming in. Like you mentioned, Dominic Barlow, obviously Chris Paul, Wemby. Obviously, Wemby's going to get one no matter what. I mean, for obvious reasons. But I mean, we've seen murals of the ones that deserve it. We've seen murals for the ones that kind of scratch our head. So again, it's kind of that melting pot of the culture that we have in San Antonio. But like I said, I lean more towards I don't have a problem with it, but I also see your side of the point because it's like, why does everybody deserve one? I mean, there's a lot more history outside of San Antonio, the Spurs, that you can put murals up to, but they don't. So
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I mean, why hasn't James Silas got one? I mean,
That's a
he
good one.
put up monster numbers. I would love to see that. I just think it's getting a little bit too much right now, and you know, I just think if you're gonna get a mural, your likeness is you gotta be here at least a season and a half. How's that? I'll lower the standards for that. Season and a half be here. We know Chris Paul's gonna go. McDermott got one. That's gone. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard had a few of them, and the moment he left San Antonio, there was like burning everything in effigy in San Antonio. He got, but I don't know, Rudy. I just feel like we need to have a standard for murals. It's time. It's time. I'm waiting for the Harrison Barnes mural to come up. Somebody's gonna do it.
Oh, it's probably going to be right next to the Chris Paul mural. I'm pretty sure it's going to be right next to, hey, welcome Harrison and Chris Paul type thing. So don't be surprised if it ends up there. But I mean, it's like I said, they're not tattoos. They're not etched there forever. If they were etched there forever and couldn't be removed, then probably have a problem with it. But it's just, it's a mural. It's going to say, it's like a billboard. It's up there for a little while, then it's brought down. I don't see it being up there forever unless it's one of the main ones.
Is there a player that you think needs a mural?
Is there a player?
Yeah, there, past or present. Do you think deserves a mural in San Antonio? So we need. I think Sean can get one. Sean definitely can get one.
Sean can get one. I'm gonna paint this right here. Give me a mural of Mario Ellie inbounding the ball to Sean for the Memorial Day Miracle.
You know what? That is a great idea. Why not have murals of moments in the Spurs history?
Spur moments. Avery hitting the shot at the Garden.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Celebrate the moments more than you celebrate some of the players. I like that better.
That's a fantastic idea. Hopefully somebody's listening to this and is going to run with it. Drafting Wemby. I know we're not saying Wemby. We're just saying the draft of Wemby. Maybe just have the number 1 ping pong ball pop up in, the year or something like that.
Yeah.
What would be a great mural? The water cannon moment. I think that'd be funny. And you know what? That would work. Fans would go to that. They would love to take a picture of that, especially those kids that never got to experience it. I was there at the water cannon night. I saw exactly what happened.
Yeah, that was crazy.
The Memorial Day miracles you mentioned. That's a good one. What would be a fun one? Dennis Rodman. I mean, talk about an artist going crazy with the hair colors.
Oh,
hair
yeah.
color, that alone.
Yeah.
But no, I just think they need to tone it down a bit. Let's not get too carried away. Now, look, Barlow is likely not going to be back in San Antonio unless something happens. But as of now, he's not. So, but there's one of him right now on the south side of San Antonio. That's going to have to come down. What if Wesley is the odd man out? His mural is going to have to come down. And I'm sure these artists don't mind. They're going to get paid anyway. So, what do they care? But the standards. We're San Antonio. 5 titles in San Antonio. Let's have some standards when it comes to these murals. But hey, we're done talking. We want to hear from you. What do you think about Ingram? You think he's likely Austin bound, or you think he might make some noise in training camp and preseason and force his way into the San Antonio rotation? And then what about these murals? Are they going out of control? Do you think there's got to be a standard? Does everybody have to get a mural just because you wear a silver and black jersey? You can let Rudy know on X at Sweep the League. And speaking of Sweep the League, what's cooking?
Yeah, man. So we're actually getting ready to kick off this week. Kickoff itself, NFL football, college football, right around the corner for all of us. Training camps happening. So a lot of our football coverage is going to happen here. We're still going to do your normal NBA, WNBA talk as well. It's myself. It's Hall of Famer Derek Gervin and Coach Gio. As always, we're us are on the show pretty much every day. We try to be, but yeah, NFL talk's coming up. We're gonna do some NBA talk and just kind of get ready, man. It's gonna be a real hectic time. Be sure to go to YouTube, search at Sweep the League TV, hit that subscribe button, enter in every single contest we got because we got a ton of contests coming up.
Oh, that they do. They got giveaways, fun time. And what I like about it is in the evening where there's no sports talk at all. And San Antonio he dominates the evening with his show. And he'll go even longer if and that's what I like about Rudy. If people are commenting and interacting with him, he'll say, yeah, we'll do another 10 more minutes. We'll do another 5 more minutes. So It's pretty cool. It's on YouTube, Sweep the League.
Oh,
and
one other thing out real quick. We are the only podcast that takes live calls every show, FYI. So keep that in mind. If you want to participate like in a radio station, we take live calls every night, Monday through Friday.
Subscribe to Sweep the League right now. Hey, we'll be back tomorrow talking all things silver and black. We'll figure out what we're going to have because it's getting thin now, Rudy. It's getting thin. We're about to hit that dead period of the NBA. But we'll figure something out to talk about things, all things San Antonio Spurs. And subscribe to Locked On Spurs, where you get your favorite podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Ken's 5 Plus app, YouTube. Pick a platform. We are there. And subscribe to Locked On. Just go to YouTube right now. Go to Locked On Sports. It's a 24/7 streaming sports channel only on YouTube, brought to you by the Locked On Podcast Network. So for Rudy Campos, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock in this episode of Locked On Spurs. All right, Rudy, we're off the record here. So is it true that you pretty much cook your co-host Gio nightly on Sweep the League?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Jeff, I'm cooking him every single night. I got to let him win sometimes because it's part of the contract that I have with him to make him feel good from time to time. So I got to take a step back. I got to let him feel like he's coming out on top, which rarely happens, man.
He sobs a lot, right, when you cook him? Like just crying.
He does. Golly, when we end the show, I'm on the call for like another hour just of him telling me, you got to stop. You're hurting my feelings.